Okay, here we have it, the grand final. We are 2-2, human versus AI. The AI won with the last game with a very upsetting two-gate tactic against Words, poorly chosen, fast expansion, build order loss, nothing you can do. But there we go, final game. Velocirandom in the top, and we have a cross position spawn. We have Words all the way at the bottom left. So, this map, a little interesting. We have a lot going on here. We have a high ground base going down into tiny little choke. Tiny little base, tiny little thing. And then immediately around the corner we have these two bridges and two more here for a exposed third mineral only. So, yes, this is tank country. If you can place down a couple of tanks here, there's not much that's going to happen to your natural. Unless, of course, you get drops. You can have shuttles or whatever ferrying units over. Let's see, however, what Velocirandom's choice is going to be here. Because, well, we have got already a couple of times. We've had everything. We have a full spectrum. We have economy first. We have had two gates. So we will see. Going two gate here blindly without seeing what your opponent is doing is probably going to be game because there will be nothing to gain. When you go these two gates, when you go this early pressure, you sabotage your economy. That's what the drawback is. You have to do damage with it or your opponent gets ahead and it'll be very hard to come back. So, all right, we've got the probe scouts coming out. Let's see if he goes for the cross position. That would be funny. We have the barracks, so everything standard. We don't have actually. Oh, there we go. Okay, we've got the refinery going down. Wow, that's great. This is what Word did. This is the straight up expansion, blind expansion, going for the economic play, which is perfect because it's a cross position. So immediately, and again, they can't see each other. We can because we're in this replay viewer. They can't. When you track the probe, I don't see the probe anywhere on the mini map. Oh well, but the SCV is going to go cross position, and he's going to see it. So this little worker here is going to bump into this expansion and go, oh, okay, that's an X is almost completed. So that was early. There's no two gates here. There's straight into a cyber energy score for more tech, for more advanced units. That'll be interesting. So here's the choice again from the first game for Word, who is probably going to go straight into 2-fact to try and counter this. 2-fact, 2 factories, more tanks. Yep, there you go. 2 factories plop down, that's an easy decision. Now, it's a long way over, but this is tank territory, this really is. So, again, same situation as with the first game. Is the production and the advanced tech and economy going to kick in before there's a whole lot of tanks in front of your front door? There's not much of a commit to Marines as in the first game. There's straight up pure metal, heavy metal. And a lot of SCVs here as well. And right now, yeah, very, very tiny little bit of forces. That's going to be interesting. What's going to be important is whether or not Velocirandom, okay, never mind. This is a Citadel of Adun that will make these guys faster and will open up tech for Templar, which are spellcasters or invisible ninjas, depending on which one you build. I know, bear with me. Okay, so we have upgrades to the mech units. Yeah, it's probably going to be mines and speed for these vultures, because they are separate upgrades that you have to choose. No, Yeah, no gas here because he's... So zealots are mineral-only units. You don't need gas for zealots. If you're going to upgrade them, you need a little bit of gas for that. If you're going to be building a lot of them, then it's okay to delay that. Okay, but you have Mr. Direct Counter, the Vulture. Speed on zealots will help, but still, with proper micro, vultures are quite a bit to deal with if you're going pure zealot. Which is what it's looking like. These are the things that in regular StarCraft you scout and see what your opponent is about. Right now, really, there's no way for Velocirandom to know anything and to process information because he hasn't scouted and doesn't know. He will now, of course, know when he hits these fellas. I don't know if the speed's going... Yeah, the speed is done. Zealot speed is done. There's a small choke. And yeah, if he's getting kited, it's just going to be ugly. Yeah, they are much faster. They can kite, just shoot and run all day long. And the Zealots are going to back off. He needs a little choke here to try and... Yeah, he shouldn't take this fight. This is direct counters against each other. Oh, yeah, he's going to get one hit in. This is not what the Zealots are supposed to be doing. This is the direct counter, and that's the entirety of Velocirandom's army being destroyed. Also, these vultures per piece cost less than the Zealots. 25 minerals less, exactly. And now the mines are there. That's a shame. That's such a shame. Because if he wouldn't have gone for the Zealots and the Speed Zealots, which is a strange tactic on this map. If he would have gone for the straight Dragoons, this would have been a slightly different story. It would have still been really difficult, as we saw before, because the AI doesn't deal well with Dragoons. But yeah, so yeah, damage on the mineral line. What should happen is a straight switch to Dragoons. Just stop building any sort of zealots and just pop out those Dragoons like it's nothing. So you can at least contain this until the tanks come out. Because then, with the tanks, the zealots are good again because they can close in on the artillery. And tanks have a minimum range when sieged. So off of this, of course, an expansion, which is good for a word. More of everything, you're winning. Yeah. At this point, Velocirandom is saving up a whole lot of minerals and still producing zealots, and that's a shame. There should be something like some trigger where, hey, a lot of zealots have died. Perhaps goons. Because this is just, yeah. That's a shame because this has been a very informative series. And yeah, Russians win games. So, I think this is Tank Siege. I think Tank Siege just... This is a bit of a failure on Word's part actually. The problem being that he hasn't made any tanks yet, and he's actually falling behind. The supply isn't as... he supply blocked himself. Now building quite a few. Quite a few supply depots. You get supply blocked, you can't build any more units. Doesn't really matter, but still. There should have been some tanks here. There should have been a contain here already. This is my poor Marine. But yeah, there's a commit to Zealots. There's a hard commit to Zealots. And they are just not what you want. They just get annihilated by their direct counter. And I say direct counter, but it's not really what I want to use for a term, because in StarCraft, there is no such thing as a hard counter. Zealots with some support can still deal, but in this case, it's just so specific. The mines and the vultures, they are just faster. See, now that they're not being microed, however, see, they disappear. The moment you stop microing them, the moment you stop controlling them, then something can happen. But now these mines, they do splash damage to all of these. they're gonna get dragged and kill quite a few. Now there's all damaged. Now we have some tanks coming in. Have poor little barracks floating for most of eternity to get to the other side of the map. Also, there's an academy here now, but there are no scanners yet. So, I mean, I understand if Dark Templars would have been made, they still get owned by the mines because the mines don't care about cloaked units. But still, here are the tanks. They are going to siege. And that's gonna be very painful. Yeah, more scooting out. More supply, because word, you really have... You're actually, you know, against a human opponent, you would have lost. Because you didn't keep up with your supply. Because you had the advantage, but you kept milling about here. There weren't any tanks there yet, and they could have just switched to Dragoons and won. That's the painful lesson here. Could have switched to Dragoons and won. Some collateral damage here, but yeah. Okay, I'm going to speed this up. I'm sorry. Because this is deadlocked. There we go. We see in action. There you go. We see. Voila. We have Dark Templars. Dark Templars are invisible. The tank, the mines do damage to them. But look, there's no response here. And there is no detection. Detection into... Oh god, they're all going to die to this one mine. Okay, no. They are very, very fucking damaged. But, hey. More tanks. So, what do you need? Yes, scanners. Scanners are going to reveal, for a very brief moment, reveal the DTs. Not Delirium Tremens, Dark Templars. These are low health units, but they do a lot of damage. They are ninjas, they have lightsabers. So, this poor little hapless tank is going to move in and get annihilated. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, okay, going back. That's good. Group up. So, is there hope? Mayhap. But he is going to move these damaged Templar into these mines, and they are going to die. Oh, that's so much damage. Actually, no, I think the Templar sniped it. A Templar other unit. A Dark Templar does do enough damage to swipe at a mine and one-shot it, if possible. But yeah, so mines need to be cleared. It's amazing that he's actually pushing in his attack, but the mines are going to annihilate most of it. The two get through, and they are going to swipe at the tanks. Word, retreat. He's got detection towers here now as well. He's got these... They will detect. No. So these are static defense towers that will detect the Dark Templars. There you go. But that's a push that shouldn't really have happened. I thought it was going to be over. I'm sorry. Do apologize. There's no defense here though. If they push through, there you go. They push through. This needs to die. He knows this. The AI knows. This detects. There is a scan there. That was that little swirly thing. That's one of the scans. That's a limited use. They have to recharge. But again, tanks are dying. This silly little tactic is working. That's a lot of damage from that mine, all clumped up. Yeah, there's no respect for mines. If there's one takeaway from this entire series, this AI needs to be able to respect mines. I'm pretty sure it's a very difficult thing to do. But again, there's a push here. It's doing damage. Relentless as Velocirandom is, there is a marginal amount of damage being done. There is still a very large road ahead. And this is the thing. There is fatigue on Word's part, perhaps, in keeping up with macro. Keeping up with macro is no problem for an AI. But trying to find the position and the value in the units is where AI struggle the most. knowing when to stop, when to gather, when to switch up tactics. And Word is facing an opponent that will never surrender until completely unable, because Word here has a problem. He's trying to defend this. His positioning is bad. He should really try and push for these bridges. This is what he needs to do, because this is where the gathering is happening. He can't contest over here. He needs to have maybe a turret here, and then try and push for these. He's pushing here, allowing for angles to develop. That's what's the problem here. But now, this is being contained, but this is good. This means the push isn't constantly on Velocirandom's natural. A lot of zealots here. But this is the perfect counter to a zealot army. There's a pure zealot army. It is a bad choice. But yeah. The unrelentingness might be so. Where are the DTs? The DTs have been, the Dark Templars have been given up, I think. No more Dark Templar. No, there's one. There's a couple. Okay, they are pushed forward. And again, similar as before, the counter, if microed properly. Or you just run by and go and destroy the entire economy. No, Zealots are going back. A couple of DTs here. A lot of mines. A lot of very inexpensive mines doing a lot of expensive damage. Here we go. We got the Vultures gathering up. They're going to go straight for this unprotected natural. They're going to do a lot of economic damage. Okay, again, some... Oh, that's so clumped up, they're all gonna die! Yeah. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage, Zealots. Now these are coming in. I don't know why the mines... Oh, wow, that was a big mistake from Word. Planting down all those mines in a single clump and then getting them all detonated while the Vultures are still there. Kaboom! And again, losing a lot. This mineral line should have been gone. He should have just run in, planted the mines here, and just annihilate these probes and, yeah, shut down the economy of Velocirandom completely, because he's mined out. Minerals do run out. And his main base is no longer producing any resources. Velocirandom has no income. Word has, over 3,000 in the bank. And is expanding now again. Almost got this mineral only mined out. A lot of transfer happening here. There's no way this army, unless something catastrophic happens, this army will not defeat the positional advantage here with the mines. This is very bad positioning, by the way. All those mines on top, the Zealots make contact, and all of this goes up in a puff of smoke. But he's hesitant. Velocirandom's very hesitant. Now, there we go. Moving away from the mines. Still not perfect. Still, that's a lot of mines that can detonate here. But there's no push. Small things here. That one there. So yeah, there's no push. Now. Word is going to make the push in a very small choke. No mines here, though. That explosion was the EMP from the science vessel that disabled all the shields of everything in there, and that's just going to, yeah, annihilate. Oh, by the way, these are also detectors, so now Dark Templar are completely visible under these units. So they are going to get annihilated. Yeah, if it wasn't a bad choice before, a tech switch is definitely a thing that should happen. But it's not going to. A choice has been made. Okay, this is going to be the push, and that's finally going to end Velocirandom's reign. So yeah, a very interesting set of games, proving that there's still quite a while to go, but they're good at executing strategies, and they can catch people off guard if they go 14cc. But yeah, so this is going to be all she wrote. Sadly, there was no time for Velocirandom to expand, so his economy was down to 1 base against 3 and then 4. Even with the proper units. But still fought bravely, managed to find a little hole, a little breach in the defenses that still do some damage. There we are. Humanity is still victorious for now. But who knows in a couple of years. Been a fun set of games. Commiserations to Velocirandom. I know Rocco's Basilisk. I am not here defending humanity. I am simply here observing that improvement needs to be made before you can take over the world of StarCraft. So, there we are. So, for SSCAIT, for the StarCraft AI tournament, student AI tournament, it's been a fun experiment, and I'd love to see more of this. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.